Hi. Hi. Today I'm going to talk about career in model audit. Well, what is model audit? Well, it is about auditing the quantitative models, and you have these positions in banks, but also in insurance company, non-banking financial organizations. This is a regulatory requirement that when there are models used in banks, they have to be audited by auditors. And there are internal auditors working within the bank that audit these models, but there are also external auditors, such as the big four auditing companies, KPMG, PwC, and Deloitte. These companies, they also audit the models used by banks and non-banking financial organizations, even the insurance companies, right? So most of these organizations do have positions in model audit. You can find opportunities in the banks, but also in the consulting firms or audit firms like Deloitte or PwC or KPMG, right? So, how do you make a career in model audit? Someone asked me this question. I thought of making a video on that. A lot of accountants watched my videos. People having a chartered accountant background. So I thought of making a video on that. That how you as a chartered accountant can also work in quantitative area, and this is quite possible actually, especially in India, where a lot of work is coming from abroad in various areas of modeling. A lot of opportunity out there. So if you are a chartered accountant or if you have accounting background and you want to work in model audit, I'm going to tell you what are the steps and the details as to what skills you need to learn, and whether it's a decent career for you or not. Okay. So in audit, you will be required to review the models for a lot of things, for conceptual soundness, for assumptions in the models, the scope of the model, the use of the model, whether there are controls on the use of the models or not. You see a lot of things. Typical audit job, right? As an auditor, you check a lot of things, right? That's exactly what you do. But here it concerns only the models. And what are models? These are mathematical formulas or mathematical formulations, right? Where you estimate things using data, you use mathematical abstraction, um, yeah, for future forecasting, right? And the interesting thing is that it's very difficult to find resources with skills in audit and in modeling, right? Most modelers I know do not have any experience in audit, and most auditors I know, they have barely any experience with mathematical modeling. Although I know a lot of chartered accountants who are also quite good in mathematics, and quite good in financial modeling, valuation sort of modeling, right? But not so much in statistical modeling or computational modeling, mathematical modeling, machine learning, those areas. I haven't met many, but you need people to know both. So what happens normally is that in many banks, people from modeling areas, those who have no experience in audit, they actually move to model audit. But the ideal candidate should be an auditor knowing models rather than a modeler knowing some audit, right? Because the audit is more audit and less modeling. Let me tell you, you don't have to build model. You're not required to build models or write long computer programs. Your work will be primarily doing audit, and that's not what a typical modeler is trained in. So, but because of the lack of resources, availability of resources, having both sort of skills, modelers do work in model audit. They shouldn't ideally be working there, by the way, right? So if you want to work in that field, and you have an audit background, you're an accountant, you're a chartered accountant, you have so many years of doing different kinds of audit, you have some experience with big four consulting firms, or you're working as an accountant, an auditor in some sort of companies, you need to learn some of these risk modeling topics. There are so many courses out there. I do have also course. You can find the details in the description section, also in the comment section. You do this course, you learn on your own. You might want to even read some of the books. You don't need to be a specialist in modeling, but you need to have enough understanding about risk models, such as credit risk models, such as market risk models, interest rate risk models, liquidity risk models, right? You need to specialize in one. You can't learn all of them, but I think better to start with market risk and credit risk, the easier ones, both credit and market. Also, there are so many opportunity in these two areas compared to other risk areas such as operation risk or liquidity risk. So important is to first learn some of the things. You don't need to understand every single detail about models, but you need to have some understanding, right? Don't worry about the mathematical aspect of it. Some mathematics may be too abstract, too difficult to understand, and someone not coming from a pure maths background may find it a bit difficult. But let me tell you that you don't need to actually understand at that deeper level, right? As long as you understand how the models work and the philosophy behind modeling, it should be fine, right? Go to go through the regulations. There are so many regulatory guidelines prescribed by central banks and international agencies such as Basel. Go through that. You can do some certifications also if you are still interested, like FRM or PRM certifications. um, and yeah, then do some intensive. If you are a fresher, if you already have some experience, I think you can take an internal move. If you're working with big four consulting, if you want to take an internal move to modeling, it is pretty easy. I've seen many people doing that, by the way. If you're working in banking, you can also do that. You can also move from audit to normal audit to model audit. uh, right, so these are some of the things that you need to know. Also good to learn some programming. You will not be writing a lot of code, but knowing some SQL, Python, R helps a lot if you want to do some basic data analysis yourself without having to rely upon another quant guy, modeling guy. It's always helps. If you can do that, that really will impress the recruiter. So good to have that, right? And as I said, it's unique in a sense that you need two sort of skills, so different, very different set of skills. So not many people are actually have that. So there is a demand supply gap, and you can leverage that. um, okay, and so which places will you be working in? Mostly banks, but also insurance companies, smaller banks, but big banks like HSBC and Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, these banks do hire a lot of model auditors. Okay. Um, Someone also asked me about salary and all that. Because it's a technical area, the entry level salaries are reasonably high uh, everywhere, but definitely very high in India, right? If you ask a chartered accountant working in normal audit and someone working in model audit, you will always find that the model auditor guy makes a lot more. But that may not necessarily be true after a few years of experience, right? Then things might level up a bit. Um, but initial salaries are quite okay, I would say. Um, if you have further questions on this, please let me know. Yeah, another important thing is to like, what are the areas, right? Where do model auditors work? Are these only risk models, or there are also other models? Yes, you also have other models as a compliance model, such as a KYC model, for the fraud models, um, even trading models, and all kinds of models used within the bank. Not necessarily just the capital model or IFRS 9 models, but also other sort of models. Everything has to be audited. That's a mandatory thing to do. So there's a lot of work to be done, and it's expanding. Actually, that's another good thing. Actually, I'm also quite sure this is going to uh, happen. Even this will be also required for fintechs, and there's so many fintechs out there. I know in the UK, a lot of these big four firms are hiring a lot of model auditors to do model audit for the fintech companies there. There's many small fintech companies in London, and the regulation mandates that they also need to do a proper audit of the models they use, and hence they hire these big four consultants, and because of which there is also demand of a lot of model auditors in those companies. And it was initially limited to only IFRS 9 related activities, but later on it moved to even advanced IRB related activities, but also everything else, right? Not necessarily just capital or provision related models, but also compliance models, trading models, even marketing models, and any model you use within the bank has to be audited uh, nowadays. Okay, if you have further questions, let me know, right? Uh, and if you have want to do uh, the quantitative finance course that I have created, you can also reach out to me. It is a very comprehensive course, beginner friendly course that covers a lot of things, the basics of quantitative finance, such as use of mathematics and statistics, whether it's hypothesis testing, whether it is some optimization and simulations. It starts with basics. It then covers more important or more sophisticated topics such as financial econometrics, time series analysis, panel data analysis, regression modeling. It also covers derivative pricing, fixed income securities, and pricing of those instruments. A lot of academic topics such as how to price a option using Black-Scholes model or binomial model. You will also learn some programming in Python. You'll also learn a lot of risk modeling topics such as credit modeling and market risk modeling, and you'll also learn some trading models as well, right? So quite comprehensive, and you'll also do quizzes and assignments, and beside that you'll also do a project at the end of it. So it's a very comprehensive, something that you can do part time. You don't have to do it full time. Even if you're working and if you put in a couple of hours a week, you should be able to finish that in 4 to 5 months time. And you also get my mentorship through that. So if you're interested in that sort of a course, do let me know. You can find my contact details in the comment section, and I see you in the next video. Thanks.